Shalom, 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 shalom. First, I want to give all the praises and the glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men. Shalom to the mixed multitude, men, women, and children of the children of Israel. All praises and glory. Now, I don't want to spend too long on this because I want to go on to listen to the going live on a Tuesday with Apostle Gabar and Bishop Sakaran because they've just gone live. I don't really want to be going live when they're doing live doing their Tuesday afternoon special, which they do every week. I just want to kind of just do a quick update on this information that I was speaking about earlier regarding the Via Maris, which is, like I said to you earlier, it's one of the royal roads of the Roman Empire, and it means the way of the sea because the road was literally the route was literally on the coastline, the full coastline of Israel and Egypt, brings you all the way into Egypt, right, literally on the coastline, literally Israel and that. So I just want to just quickly read this article here and another article. I'll bring out a precept and then we're going to shut this down. So I don't want to spend too long because the apostles have just gone live and Bishop Sakaran and Apostle Gabar have just gone live. I don't really like doing lessons when they've gone live doing their special Tuesday lesson because that session is always there, basically. So it says the Via Maris, ancient Israel's historic trade route, which does mean it's a Latin word, way of the sea, as I said earlier, and you're going to see. It's a journey through ancient Israel's historic trade route, right? Unlocking the secrets of the Via Maris, right? So I'm going to read some of this article here. It says, let me just open this up a little bit, 1 second. Right, it says, step back in time and embark on a captivating journey through ancient Israel's historic trade route, Via Maris. This fascinating trade route, also known as the Way of the Sea, because that's what Via Maris means in the Latin, means way of the sea, served as a vital connection between Asia, Africa, and Europe. Immerse yourself in the rich history and ancient secrets that the Via Maris holds, right? So it says there, follow in the footsteps of the merchants, caravans, and travelers as you explore the remarkable archaeological sites and the remnants of this ancient thoroughfare, from building cities to picturesque landscapes. This trade route provided a gateway to trade, cultural exchange, and geopolitical strategies, right? It says, discover the stories of the people who transversed the Via Maris, trade in spices, silk, and other valuable commodities, right? And what's the most valuable commodity? Slaves, right? Slaves are the most valuable commodities, right? Uncover the mysteries behind the strategic locations of fortresses and ports along the route and gain insight into the interactions between different civilizations. It says, uncover this extraordinary expedition as we unlock the secrets of the Via Maris, revealing a captivating tapestry of civilization, commerce, and connections that shape ancient Israel's history beyond. Get ready to be transported to a bygone era and uncover the untold tales of this historic trade route. It says, what is the meaning of the Via Maris? Via Maris is a Latin term that translates to way of the sea in English, right? Because the route was on the way of the sea. It hugged the whole coastline, right? It refers to an ancient trade route that connected Egypt to northern regions of the Middle East, including modern-day Israel, right? Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. This route facilitated trade, culture exchange, and communications between civilizations along the Mediterranean coast. So this is where I want to get to here. The historical significance of the Via Maris. The Via Maris holds immense historical significance, connecting continents and facilitating trade and cultural exchange. This ancient trade route played a crucial role, right? Keep an eye on that, in shaping the development of civilizations. The route extended from Egypt in the south to the Mesopotamia in the north, passing through the land of Israel, 70 AD, Jerusalem. It was a vital link between the powerful empires of Egypt, Assyria, and Babylon. All right. Let's read on. The importance of the Via Maris can be traced back to biblical times, right? As we showed you, 70 AD. The route is mentioned in the Old Testament where it is referred to as the way of the sea, right? And that's here. That's in Isaiah. Is it Isaiah 9 or 11 and 1? Isaiah 11 and 1, or let's just see if it's Isaiah 9. Yeah, Isaiah 9. This is where it's mentioned here. Isaiah 9 and 1. Nevertheless, the dimness shall not be such as was in her vexation, when at first he lightly afflicted the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali, and afterward did more grievously afflict her by the way of the sea, right? That's the English word for the Via Maris, right? The way of the sea. Beyond Jordan, in Galilee of the nations, right? This is where it's referring to in the Old Testament, where it talks about the Via Maris, right? The way of the sea, that trade route. Let's quickly go back here. It says the Via Maris became a lifeline. Sorry, start back here. The importance of the Via Maris can be tracked back to biblical times, as we just showed you, right? The route is mentioned in the Old Testament, where it is referred to as the way of the sea. It was a strategic thoroughfare for who? For the Israelites, connecting them to neighboring nations and allowing the exchange of goods, ideas, and influences. The Via Maris became a lifeline for economic growth and cultural development in the region, right? The significance of the Via Maris continued through the Hellenistic and Roman periods. As the Roman Empire expanded, the route became even more crucial for trade and military purposes, right? Listen carefully. The Via Maris played a pivotal, The Via Maris played a pivotal role in the movement of troops, supplies, and goods, enabling the Roman Empire to maintain control over its vast territories. So if the Romans are moving troops, supplies, and goods to enable the Roman Empire to maintain control over its vast territories, do you not believe it's also moving its slaves using that same important route? The most used, the most important. They say this route, this Via Maris trade route, was on equal par or even more important than the King's Highway. So the Roman Empire was using this for the movement of troops, not ships to go from Israel to Egypt. It was using the Via Maris, which played a pivotal role in the movement of troops. That's Roman garrisons, right? Troops, Roman legions, should I say, that will be going to different garrisons. Supplies and goods, enabling the Roman Empire to maintain control over its vast territories. So if it's moving its troops along that route, do you not believe it's moving its slaves along that route as well? So after 70 AD, do you not believe that the Roman troops were moving the Israelite slaves from Jerusalem, which we showed? Where is it here? Hold on. Which I showed you earlier, from Jerusalem. Oops, sorry. From Jerusalem, the purple route is the Via Maris. The red one is the King's Highway. From Jerusalem to Jaffa, along that route. Do you not believe that it was moving its troops? The Romans were moving their troops along that route to go into Egypt and to the different garrisons they had along that route. They wasn't using ships to move them. So do you not truly believe that they would have also been moving the slaves? They would have been moving the slaves, the captive Israelites, from 70 AD, the destruction, right through to 73 AD, when they took down the last stronghold, Masada, All of those that were captives would have been brought on that route, and also they probably would have been traded and sold along that route to the different cities, coastal cities that they would have been passing through. They would have also been probably selling the slaves along the way before they reached their final destination into Egypt. So go back here once again. Where are you? The Via Maris played a pivotal role in the movement of troops, supplies, and goods, enabling the Roman Empire to maintain control over its vast territories. Right? The Via Maris followed a well-defined route, taking advantage of favorable geographical features and existing trade routes. It started in Egypt, where it connected to the Nile River and the Red Sea. From there, it moved northwards along the coast, passing through Gaza, Ashkelon, Jaffa, Caesarea, Akko. The route then continued northeast, passing through Megiddo, Hazah, and Dan, before reaching its northern terminus at Damascus, which we showed you here. Just bring this along here. That's where it terminated, Damascus. All right? Let's go back. It says each major city along the Via Maris served as a significant hub for trade and cultural exchange. Gaza, for example, was a thriving port city that connected Egypt to the rest of the Levant. Ashkelon, another coastal city, was a vital center for trade, boasting a busy harbor and vibrant marketplace. Jaffa, known for its strategic location and natural harbor, played a crucial role in facilitating trade between different regions. Caesarea, a Roman city built by Herod the Great, was a major port and administrative center. It became a bustling hub for international trade, with goods flowing in and out of its harbor. Akko, located on the northern tip of Israel, was a key port city that served as a gateway to the Mediterranean Sea. It says here, the Via Maris was not only a conduit for physical goods, but also a channel for the exchange of ideas, knowledge, and culture. The trade route facilitated the movement of a wide range of commodities. What's the most important commodities the Romans had? Was slaves, including spices, silk, perfumes, precious metals, ceramics, and textiles. These goods were highly sought after and played a significant role in the economies of the ancient civilizations along the route. It says here, spices in particular were a valuable trade commodity. The spice trade flourished along the Via Maris, with merchants transporting spices such as cinnamon, pepper, frankincense from the Far East to the Mediterranean region. These spices were highly prized for their flavor, fragrance, and medicinal properties, making them valuable commodities in the ancient world. All right. So, where's I going to go to here? 1 second here. So this is the route here once again, so you can see the Via Maris. This is why it's called the Way of the Sea, all the way into Cairo, Egypt. Right. This is the route here. Right. So it says here, the Via Maris, translated to the Way of the Sea, a name given to it by who? By the Romans. The Romans called it, it's a Latin word, the Via Maris. The Romans named it that, right? Was a coastal path and trade route which connected civilizations. It's beaten dirt roads dating back to the Bronze Age, 3000 BC to 1200 BCE, carried the most beautiful wares and groundbreaking ideas of the ancient ages. The Via Maris ran from Damascus to Heliopolis, right, which we just read, which is near modern day Cairo. All right. Now, where do I want to go to? Was it here? This one here. Sorry, this is the one I want to go to. The Royal Roads. The Royal Roads. All right. One of the most fascinating components of the ancient Roman Empire was their unbelievably extensive road system. The Roman Empire built over 57,000 miles of paved roads throughout their conquered lands, right? These roads connected the Far East and Mesopotamia with Asia Minor, Egypt, Israel, and ultimately Rome itself. Names such as the Royal Road and the what? Via Maris, which meant the way of the sea, were given to these ancient superhighways. So the Via Maris was known as one of the royal roads. So one of the most important trade routes throughout the Roman Empire was the Via Maris, right? Harbor Street, Ephesus, right? It says here, these roads were as wide as our two-lane highways of today and were paved with huge limestones, rocks that were quarried, then shaped to fit their bricks on the road's bed. As the roads came close, to each city, they would get wider and they would place columns on each side of the roadway. Shops would be set amongst the columns to trade and to sell to travelers coming and going on the road. The Roman engineers even laid sewer channels for the cities by placing them underneath the roadbed and then straddling the channel with large stones to conceal it and to make it sturdy, right? It says way stations were placed one day's travels apart along the main roads. These roadsides inns were called caravanserai, right? Caravanserai, and catered to the estimated 3 million travelers that traversed these highways on a yearly basis. All the labor was performed by what? By Roman slaves. It has been estimated that almost half the population of the Roman Empire were what? Were slaves. So the Israelites became part of that population of slaves. Do you think they were building hundreds of thousands of ships to transport their slaves from one part of their empire to another? Do you really think the Romans were doing that? Half of the Roman Empire, right? Half of the population of the Roman Empire were slaves. They had conquered and used to accomplish their building projects. So it has been estimated that almost half of the population of the Roman Empire were slaves they had conquered and used to accomplish their building projects. So wasn't Jerusalem conquered in 70 AD? It says these roads were in place and being built during the time of the New Testament. You can actually walk on some of the same road beds that the apostles walked on as they went to spread the gospel in Asia Minor and other parts of the world. Cities such as Ephesus, Pergamon, Sardis, Colossus, and Laodicea were on these roads, and they steadily increased in size and commerce because of the traffic on the road. These cities became stopping places for the apostles as they went and spread the good news about Yahushua HaMashiach. So my point is, right, these roads were estimated to be catered for over 3 million travelers. These royal roads that traverse through the highways on a yearly basis. And all the labors performed by the Roman slaves, and half of the Roman population were estimated to be slaves. So do you believe the Romans were moving their slaves around on cargo slave ships? They were not, family. You know how long that would take? You know how much navigation, you know how many ships they would have to build to do that? They moved them along what they called the royal roads, and the Via, just it says here, names such as the royal roads and the Via Maris, which meant the way of the sea, were given to the ancient superhighway. That was a superhighway. That was a royal road that was used back then. So we go back to when I say earlier, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 is not talking about 70 AD. This is talking about the transatlantic slave trade. When we went into slavery, back to Egypt, into Egypt again, spiritual Egypt, by ships, is a transatlantic slave trade. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We're not going to see the wilderness, Israel again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem you. By redeem, that's what that word means, qanah in the Hebrew. So I just kind of want to give a quick touch update on that again, for those of you. Just to let you know, once again, boy, this is absolutely, these are the roads they absolutely used. This is the route that they use, the purple route here. These are the roads. Where is it gone? That they used to transport the slaves in 70 AD. This is the Via Maris route that they used. They didn't go by ships. They didn't go by ships from Jerusalem to Cairo. They took them by the roads that they built. They prided themselves in their roads. That's one of the greatest things the Romans ever did. And everywhere they conquered, they built roads to roads inward. That's what they called. They saying where they say this is, they call it like road inward roads or something. Road something inwards or road inwards is a saying. It goes back to the Romans. Everywhere they conquered, they built roads inwards into those territories that they conquered. And this road was named by the Romans, the Via Maris, the way of the sea. They're the ones that built this road, that laid this road with limestone. This is how the Israelites were transported, believe me, in 70 AD from Jerusalem to Egypt and to any of these port cities where they would have stopped along. They would have been probably slave blocks, slave markets in all of these places: Ashdod, Jaffa, Gaza, Pelusium, Tanis. There would have been slave markets in these places. They would have been selling the slaves on the way. Some of them they would have put off into their garrisons to help continue working within the Roman Empire, and then the rest they would have just brought them straight into Egypt. They would no way have took them on ships from Jerusalem to Egypt. Believe me when I tell you that. No way on earth. They definitely came by the way of the Via Maris. That's the way they came from 70 AD into Egypt, and to every other port city that would have had a slave market. They would have been selling their slaves, dropping them off also at garrisons, the different garrisons. The city that the Romans built, Caesarea, they said the city that they built along here as well. It shows you on that one here. That's what they would have done. It's as simple as that. So anyway, I just kind of want to do a quick one on that. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shim Yahushua Basham Rakak. It was kind of like an update on the lesson I did earlier today. The Roman Empire via Maris, ancient Israel's historic trade route. Right? All praise and glory to the Heavenly Father Yahweh and to His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. The blood to the apostles, to the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the 144,000 men of Israel, the elect men, and to the mixed multitude, men, women, and children. As I always say, keep praying, keep safe, repent, and hold on to this truth. Truly. There's nothing that Vocab Malone can do to change the outcome of the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Nothing that he can do, Vocab Malone. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises.